Everyone present here reads, writes, listens. But one thing that gets into our nerves is what we watch. Have you ever considered the impact of what all we watch, such as these movies, series, and TV shows on children, teenagers, and adults? Being a teenager myself, I can clearly state that my generation is more in watching movies and series than any other generation has ever been. That's the best reason why developers have come up with Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus and much more stuff like that. That's the reason current Indian Finance Minister Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman wasn't hesitant to quote that there was no economic slowdown in the country as the movie had earned more than usual on a weekend few months back. Talking about the impact, how many of you know about the Marvel Cinematic Universe? More precisely, the X-Men and the Avengers. Arguably, most of you do, and I do too. I feel I owe the origin of the accent that I've acquired to the Avengers themselves. They, in my opinion, have made an impact on most of us in some way or the other. We, in the teenage phase, get subconsciously affected by these series or movies that we watch to an extent that they become a part of us, despite knowing the fact that they're not meant to be a part of us. Watching TV over a cable or a set-top box was okay for us, but then came the option of streaming online and downloading, where the program goes uninterrupted for several hours without any commercials, enabling us to give our undivided attention to it and take it personally at times. Tell me you've seen all the parts of the Avengers and haven't cried at the Iron Man's death. I would probably say you're lying. Recently, the trend of series has begun. But now, even movies have prequels, sequels, and a whole series these days. The Avengers I was talking about has 23 movies, two series, with another movie coming really soon and more of all this in production. There was a time when we used to watch a movie for 3 hours at a stretch, think about it the whole day, and forget it the next day. But now, when we watch something for half an hour or an hour daily, or we binge watch the whole season at once, it becomes a part of us. We look forward to watching more and more of it. And we not only give it our time, but also our emotions. Why else do you think teens feel so emotionally spent these days? But has anyone ever wondered why we do so? We as teens have to deal with so much, whether it's the overwhelmingly increasing competition in the outside world, a demand to be unique, a need to be cool, and whatnot. Amidst all this, we find solace in these as they help us relax and act as a medium for us to escape the harsh realities of our lives. Kids too frequently watch movies and their cartoon shows on television. They, in fact, want all of the merchandise of their favorite characters or shows for themselves. As a kid, even I used to demand those transforming vehicles after watching the Transformers, and I guess I still possess a few of them. I could barely understand what's going on in the movie. Still, I was a fan. Kids these days, they're not fans. Trust me, they're not fans, they're die-hard fans. Some wouldn't even have their meals without watching one of their favorites on TV, phone, or tablet. The matter here is that they start assuming themselves as one of the characters and start behaving that way. Though those characters are the heroes who fight for the good, yet they're fictional and it gives the child a false hope that they could be real and then they try to emulate them. The good side being for both kids and teens is watching movies and series help in building an opinion, which has a deeper understanding and a better perspective of life. We even tend to learn from these series, like the TV show Friends, that taught us many lessons of life. Important among them being to live in camaraderie, the importance of friendship, to pursue things that we're passionate about, to follow our heart, and the list is endless. But with only a few restrictions and almost no checks on these streaming apps, even the little kids have access to all the content of movies and series available. The problem is that to add glam to these movies and series, makers unintentionally promote partying, smoking, consumption of alcohol, drugs, which then gets the definition of cool. Out of the top rated Indian web series, there is hardly any one that does not serve abuses, vulgarity, and sex. Adults too watch movies and series, but they're not really affected by those because they have attained their mental stability. Yet, it results in the loss of precious time, which they could have otherwise utilized in some productive tasks. We mostly prefer TV shows, especially those based on reality. Now, the problem with these reality shows is that those are telecast on a daily basis, are the crime reporting shows. These shows announce themselves as reality shows, but what they show is a completely manipulated version of the reality. Also, what they state is that criminals will commit crime. It's we who to be aware. The criminal is never at fault. The law which justifies those crimes or the lawyer which justifies their crimes is never at fault. It's we who are at fault. Some shows basically are the admirers of the police services. Police are seen to be solving cases which in reality take years. As a matter of fact, in these shows, police solve cases only on the basis of call records. They portray things which is so unrealistic that they do not relate to lives at all, but they create an impact due to which we try to fit our lives in those boundaries. Imagine there's an office person who comes home late regularly for a week, and one fine day his wife manages to grab his call record. She manages to get a number who he makes a call to regularly at night. She takes down all the information about that number and gets to know that it's a woman named Priya. She asks him who it is. He, being unaware of the situation, tells her that he does not know any woman named Priya. She filed a divorce case against him. Being agitated, he turns vindictive towards his wife. Now, when the case gets solved, it turns out that Priya was his boss, whose name he never knew and used to make a call daily to submit the progress report. Sounds unrealistic, right? Trust me, it's one of the stories portrayed. Other shows tell that in the name of feminism, a girl can cheat her boyfriend with five other boys by saying it's her choice. The fault lies in the boy, and he does not even have the right to get angry. Apart from this, even the actors who worked in these, the artists who worked in these movies and series have an impact of it in their own lives. Like after the Hindi TV show Ramayana, the audience literally started worshipping the actors who portrayed the role of Lord Rama, Goddess Sita, and Lakshman. The cast of English show Friends earn $1 million every year without having to do anything more, but they deserve everybody's. Even during the outbreak of the pandemic, the COVID 19 crisis, when every one of us was quarantined, we all watched movies and series sitting together with the family at home. No matter, even if we deny this fact, movies and series have now become a part of our lives. For some, watching TV is the only time they sit with their family. Going to the theater is the only time they reunite with friends. And watching web series is the only time they're out of this hectic fast forward life. This, in my opinion, is the impact of these movies and series on every one of us. Thank you. That's all.